Shalom, shalom, and welcome. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. Today is April 23rd, 2015. This is part 2 of a multi-part segment under the series entitled Yasharal, Living Orders and Command. This is part 2 of the segment, multi-part segment entitled Prepare the Unstoppable Comes. My brothers and sisters, we wake each day. Many of us may continue with business as usual or our day-to-day routines. Some of us are learning and growing in maturity and growing close to the Almighty Father Yahuwah. We are facing challenges. We are awakening to realize that we are indeed facing end-time days. I want to be perfectly clear. There was once an infallible written word, flawless, inspired by the Almighty Father and Creator, and it was written in its original Hebrew, Arabri form, of which have faced many translations in man's influence or attempt to translate what was the original set-apart word inspired by the Almighty Father. Believe it or not, it was never designed for any man to take the scriptures and run with them to use for their own personal pleasure, teachings, or doctrines. The scriptures were inspired and created by the Almighty Father Yahuwah for doctrine and teaching of His orders, a reflection of His doctrine, a reflection of His teachings, a reflection of His set-apartness. Not for us to take apart and run with and forge our own teachings. Anyone who earnestly seeks to do the will of the Almighty Father has discovered and will discover that the inspired written word truly contains instructions for us to always, at all times, lean on the living Spirit of Yahuwah to make alive His text before us. Torah, a word that means instructions or laws, begin with the living orders and commands from the Almighty Father. The living Torah is the product of the word of the Almighty Father going before us. This is His living Torah. Many people has encapsulated just the 5 books of Mushah to believe that it's the only Torah, but it means instruction. Many have taken and embraced the sensationalized word, not aware, just void of its true meaning. Many are infatuated by just the word Torah and believe that it represents all that is of the Hebrew roots when it comes to learning and understanding. And I submit to you, it is not just the Torah of Mushah that was presented. It is the living Torah, the living orders, the living directions. It is the directions, the instructions, the living orders and commands that come from the Almighty Father to His prophets, to His servants, to His teachers, to those who are His. His word is living Torah. Pray and watch and seek to discern the truth in these words. The time is now for us to realize and witness demonstrations from individuals who serve at the pleasure of the Most High Father. In other words, witness being used by Him whom we seek to worship. The time is now to realize that He works in us, through us, one towards another, and through His chosen ones. All that has been preserved from the inspired written word, we now have and begin to witness them being labeled as the scriptures as it relates to the written words. In other words, the scriptures, the things that were hidden, are unfolding at imaginable rates. They are being made alive like never before. Yes, the scriptures. The truth is coming out. Proof is rising. There are those who are shackled by unbelief. There are deniers of the truth for whatever reasons, but they cannot stop the increase in knowledge. They cannot stop the increase in true set-apartness rising before the children of obedience. They cannot stop the revealing of things that were once hidden. Yes, there are those overtaken with unbelief or the deniers, and they cannot block the unstoppable. My brothers and sisters, again I say to you, prepare, the unstoppable comes. End times are here, and with them come phenomenal transformations of life as we know it. Let me share a sample of things that are and will prove to be unstoppable, things that support the message, prepare, the unstoppable comes. What is it that is unstoppable? It is the rise and acknowledgement of an almighty living creator, Yahuwah. It is the rise in accepting Yahusha as the almighty creator's word manifest in the flesh. It is the acknowledgement of proof that the almighty Father Yahuwah sent his set-apart spirit in Yahusha's name. What's unstoppable? It is an emergence of an awakening nation consisting of 144,000 Hebrews, Arbrim, alone or in addition to a great multitude of individuals from many nations, kindreds, tribes, and tongues who together seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. What is the unstoppable? A final exodus is coming to those who have been chosen to fulfill what is written, proving that the children of Yahuwah will come to be known as the children of obedience that are not appointed to the wrath that is to unfold during the time that is known as the great distress or great tribulation. What is unstoppable? A gathering from the four corners of the earth as mentioned in scriptures of the children of the Most High. What is unstoppable? The emergence of two witnesses mentioned in Revelation as well as in Zechariah. What is unstoppable? There will be martyrs, the death of martyrs for the name of Yahusha. A great falling away, individuals led astray, people overtaken with working delusions, the workings of delusion, or individuals who are delivered to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Almighty Yahuwah. What is unstoppable? Death and destruction as described in Revelation 6:8 and Revelation 9:18. What is unstoppable? Massive and prolonged drought, famine, pestilence, and disease. The emergence of the anti-Messiah, commonly referred to as the Antichrist, the false prophet and their beast system or one world government. What is unstoppable? A transformation in governance. For the set-apart children of Yahuwah will be led by the Spirit of Yahusha working through us, in us, and through his chosen leaders and or sent messengers, Malachim, commonly referred to as angels. We will witness leadership for Yasharal. Rise up like never before. What is unstoppable? Wars and fighting of many types. Chaos, civil unrest, economic upheaval and collapse, and more. What is unstoppable? There will be forced migrations, forced movements for both Yasharal as well as those physically living on this planet. Yes, the wicked will be gathered together to fight against the set-apart children. Who is able to discern that when the wicked nations gather in Megiddo, they plan to march against the children of Yahuwah, the children of obedience, who will be in a safe place within the promised land at the set-apart mountain? What is unstoppable? Deliverance from strongholds for those who earnestly seek to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuwah through Yahushua Mashiach. What is unstoppable? And the final war between the set-apart children of Yahuwah through Yahushua Mashiach versus the wicked armies of Satan. This cannot be stopped. What is unstoppable? The physical return of Yahushua Mashiach. What is unstoppable? Going before the judgment, the throne of the Almighty Father on Judgment Day. My brothers and sisters, do you believe? Are you anticipating or expecting phenomenal things ahead? Have you embraced the belief of a final exodus for Yasharal? Are you able to accept that there will be 144,000 Hebrews, Arbrim, 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Yasharal, along with Gentiles, Goyim, other nations, who together will represent a body of one in Yahushua Mashiach under the banner of Yasharal? I cannot stress enough the importance of these words, my brothers and sisters. Prepare, the unstoppable comes. Remember the story of the virgins, the maidens, regarding preparations and having oil in their lamps, as mentioned in Matthew 25th chapter. Remember, there are scriptures that inform us that we are the children of the light and not of darkness, that day should take us as a thief in the night. The day of the physical return of Yahushua Messiah should not take us as a thief in the night. My brothers and sisters, during my entire lifetime, I have never read about the possibility of man becoming extinct, of man being on a collision course to total extinction, like I have recently heard in the most current of years. Global warming and climate change, along with other forms of man's wickedness, neglect, greed, and rebellion, has brought about messages of possible total extinction. Yes, the total extinction of man. Do not be alarmed, my brothers and sisters, for scriptures foretell that there will come a time when we would put off the corruptible and put on the incorruptible. Can this not be what describes total extinction of man as we know it? We have been witnessing words like peak levels, depopulation, point of no return, extinction level events, tipping points, and more like never before as they relate to the extinction of man. Scriptures speak of signs from the heavens or from space, and believe it or not, one major event that has been emerging from space is the coming of Planet X. Some may know it as Nibiru, N-I-B-U-R-U, or Planet 7X, or Wormwood, as some call it, in the foreseeable future. I listened to a gentleman present his position, and I invite you to search out on your search engine the word Planet 7X. Here, a gentleman by the name of Gil Bouchard presents his beliefs as it relates to scriptures on Planet X. And he used the term Planet 7X to distinguish his findings among others who speak of Planet X. I think it's an interesting video to listen to, and I invite you to seek it out if you believe you are compelled to do so. My brothers and sisters, there are a lot of phenomenal things occurring. And I say again, prepare, the unstoppable comes. Sooner or later, we will begin to embrace a sense of urgency. A sense of urgency to discern living orders and commands directed towards us individually and collectively. And we will respond to the presence of the Spirit of Yahushua like never before. We will soon begin to identify a rise in the Spirit of our Savior, Yahushua Mashiach, within us, one towards another, and through his chosen ones, his chosen leaders. We will identify sightings of Malachim, messengers commonly known as angels, more frequently. The types and shadows that once fueled our Father's conversation as it relates to last days are coming to an end. The echoes of sentiments of being, in other words, you know how people get tired. Hey, I've been hearing we in the last days forever and ever. And then you have those who say, well, these are types and shadows, and we're still in types and shadows. I submit to you, that is coming to an end. We have entered into a phase of end-time prophecy like never before imagined. We are on the course that describes the preparations and the actions mentioned in Scripture that will usher in the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach. In other words, my brothers and sisters, types and shadows, people who believe that we are in types and shadows are beginning to relent. In other words, give in or change their perspective. They have come to embrace that end times are here. The unstoppable comes regarding end times. They have begun with an intensity, and that intensity is growing across the planet. Soon and very soon, every living person on this planet will come to identify that we are reaching the pinnacle of our existence as we know it in these earthen vessels. There are no practical or natural solutions in sight, but from those who understand the power and might, the plan of the Most High Father, there is a plan, a living plan, a real plan, a true plan, a rich plan, a plan created by the Almighty Father, and it is unfolding as I speak. The power and strength of the Almighty Father Yahuwah working through us, working through his set-apart spirit, sent in Yahushua's name, will prove to direct our path in the coming days. All promises and prophecies will be and are being fulfilled. The time is now to choose who you will serve. The time is now to begin to discern your calling, what you have been chosen to do or called out to do by the Spirit of Yahushua. Begin discussing your beliefs as well as the actions you believe you are compelled to do. and begin doing so with brothers and sisters. Remember, iron sharpening iron. Come, let us learn how to reason in a set-apart way. Let us learn how to yield to what is true. Let us learn when there are indifferences to step away from each other and place the matter before the altar of the Almighty Father and witness his proof. Come and make straight and make alive his set-apartness. We will discover others among us, others that are physically alive, who share our same beliefs and desires to do the will of the Almighty Father. Yasharal will be gathered, and we will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. I cannot emphasize enough. There will be a final exodus, O Yasharal. Those chosen to fulfill what is written. Do not be overtaken by false teachings. Do not succumb to compromising camps and fellowships. Focus on Yahushua Mashiach and discover life immeasurably. My brothers and sisters, we who are among the children of Yahuwah, who are physically alive during the time of the emergence of the great distress, we will witness being gathered from the four corners of the earth. Yes, there will be some of us who will walk in obedience, who will face martyrdom for Yahushua's name. Do not be overwhelmed nor overtaken by misinterpretations. Rise up and yield to the realities of what is instructed of us, my brothers and sisters. Prepare, the unstoppable comes. End time prophecy fulfillment like never imagined rises. My brother, my prayer is that each of us seek earnestly to discern the presence of the Spirit of Yahushua and respond correctly with accuracy to his words, to his instructions, to his teachings. My prayer is that we grow in wisdom, strength, and that we are able to endure until the very end. Awake, O Yasharal, awake, our redemption draws near. Until next time, know this, it will be wise to accept this message, the words that I speak to you regarding prepare, the unstoppable comes, and take heed. Discover what is ordered from the Spirit of Yahushua and respond. Living orders and commands are real, along with warnings, and they are indeed going forth. Who is able to discern them? Who will respond? What's your position, O Yasharal? Until next time, I invite you to continue tuning in to the messages that I am compelled to present to you, who I believe are indeed my brothers, my sisters, my family. You have been listening to the multi-part segment of Yasharal, Living Orders and Commands, entitled Prepare, the Unstoppable Comes. This concludes this multi-part segment, and I invite you to continue listening in as I present what I believe I am compelled to deliver to my brothers, my sisters, to Yasharal. Shalom, shalom, shalom.